All right, everybody, this is Gabriel, the ProActivator, and today we have a special guest, Mr. Gaston Llaca. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. It's great, and it's an honor to be here with you. It's great to be with you.
Thank you, Gaston. No, I know you, Gaston, from the gym. We met a couple of years ago. I started going to the JCC Center, and I started playing basketball again after a while. And ever since then, we built a pretty good relationship, a friendship that has led us to today, because I seen that you have a lot of tangible experience you just turned 65 years young. You look pretty good, by the way.
Thank you. I feel good.
Very good. You exercise, you play basketball close to maybe 4 times a week, more or less.
Yeah, 4. Right now I'm playing 4 times a week, on the weekends and then Tuesday and Wednesday nights, yeah.
So you become this person who aspires to have a healthy body, a fitness-wise, health-wise. Now, let's learn a little bit about Gaston. Who is Gaston Llaca?
Well, I'm one of 4 children. My parents came originally from Cuba. They immigrated to the United States, sometime in 1960, which is like the year I was born. And I was born in Madrid, Spain, and the reason for that is because back then the United States policy is the same policy that they have now. If you're coming to the United States from Cuba, you can't come straight from Cuba. You have to go through a third country. So in that situation, we went to Spain. We had some. My parents had some family there, and I was supposed to have been born in New York City, but on the way to New York City, and remember, we were talking 1960, so everything was totally different back then. My mom, when she before boarding that plane, that she was rejected. They told her that she was too advanced on her pregnancy, so they didn't allow her on the plane. So she had to come back to figure out what to do. And the very next day, I was born. So I was born a whole month early.
Wow!
So I was born in Madrid, Spain, for that reason. And I have an older brother that was born in Cuba. My younger brother was born here in Coral Gables, and then I have a younger sister that she was born in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
So in that sense, it's kind of a unique situation for us. And like I said, I have 3 brothers and a sister, and we all lived on here within 15 or 20 minutes of each other. So that's a good thing, because family is very important to me.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking to hang out with them.
Okay. Yeah. Let's start with. So the ProActivator, Gaston, has 6 pillars. The 6 pillars are faith, family, fitness, finances, focus, and fulfillment. There's a few of them that I might have to explain to you, maybe in detail what they mean. For example, finances. Finances, it could be either one, somebody who has achieved a high level of success in finances, or somebody that not necessarily have had to achieve like a lot of income in their lives or wealth, but somebody who has been able to manage their finances at a high level, to the point where they have investments, they budget and stuff like that, right? Now, focus. The focus one is a person who has achieved a high level of success in eradicating distractions from their lives, and they take care of their time, right? And they're able to manage their time very much like somebody manages their budget. That's the pillar that describes focus. Fulfillment. Fulfillment is the person who gives, not just monetarily or resources, but also gives of their time. It could be to church or to any organization where they're being a service to somebody else without getting anything in return. There's a lot of people who help, but sometimes there's always a reason why they help, which is fine. People can help. and with expecting something in return, and that's okay. But fulfillment goes a little bit higher. Fulfillment is giving, understanding that you're not going to get anything in return. And that's just another level of having that type of mindset. Obviously, the first family is somebody who has had high level of success in catering to their families, being there for their families, for their kids, for their wives, for their parents, their siblings. You know, you're somebody who's there for them, right? At a high level. Fitness is obviously somebody who has fitness as something that, as a core value that they want to strive to, where they eat healthy, they reject certain foods that they know that they're not good for them. They are active in a daily or weekly basis, and they have that mindset of wanting to take care of their body. And then let me see, which other one did I miss? Oh, faith. Okay, faith is one of the main ones. Nothing we do in life, even if you're somebody who doesn't believe in God, you can't go through life without having faith. Let's say you're somebody who rejects Jesus or Christ. You still need to have faith to get in your car and go from one place to another. You have to have faith. Why? You have to have faith in the car that you're driving. You have to have faith in the other drivers that are around you. There's the requirement of some type of faith that you're going to get here and there. Mm-hmm. You know, so whether they like it or not, they have to have faith and belief. I believe that I'm going to get to this area or this place. I believe that when I sit on that chair, it's going to hold me up. They don't have fear. They believe. So they have faith. So that's one of those are the 6 pillars. And so I want to go through the 6 pillars with you, and how would you put yourself, let's say from a scale to 1 to 10. Nobody obviously is perfect. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking to see how you have improved, what areas you feel like you may need to work on, and how we can all get better, because we can learn from you, either from your mistakes or from things that you do that maybe somebody can pick up on. So let's start with your faith, Gas. Tell me, when did you become somebody who believed in Christ, and when did you come to that area when you said, I believe in the Lord, and you accepted him in your heart?
Well, I've always been I've always believed in God, obviously, but I wasn't always close to Jesus, God. I always wasn't close, and I really when that started to change, it was in my late 30s, and my life wasn't. I was okay in my life, but I wanted more, and I did a lot of soul searching. And I said, I think that what I'm missing is I need to get closer to Jesus. Mm. So I was raised a Catholic, so I started. I hadn't gone to church in many, many years, and I made the commitment to go back to church on a regular basis. And actually, that's how I ended up. That's how I met my ex-wife, was through church. Just like I'm the head usher at my church, she's actually head of the Eucharistic minister. So we still see each other every Saturday. And that was just a start. So I wasn't really close at that point to Jesus. That was a work in progress. And then about 5 years ago, at church during the homily, the priest at the time mentioned something about learning how to actually pray. And he gave us a book to take home, and the book was about learning how to pray. A lot of people want to pray, but they don't know how to do it. And so I started reading the book, and I started praying. It was hard to do it like the way the book explained it, to be honest with you. So I came up with my own way of doing it. And that was really what started the process for me to get really close to God, to where now I wake up And 99 out of 100 times I pray. The first thing I do is when I get up is I pray. I go to bed and I pray. And there isn't just about any decision that I make throughout the course of the day where I'm asking God, am I doing the right thing? You know.
When you pray, how do you talk to God? Like, how does that go?
I generally ask him, God, please take care of my kids. You know, please bless them with good health. You know, peace of mind, peace of heart, and then protect them from harm and danger and sickness. And then I kind of go down the list. I ask him to bless me, bless my dog, bless my family, bless my family. And for example, I have a cousin, for example, now that I've added to the list because she was just diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. So I want to include her on there. And there's a lady from church that recently had surgery, so I include her. So I try to include as many people as possible, and I ask God to bless us all and keep us healthy and protect us from harm.
And how long does your prayer pretty much last? Like, is it a few minutes?
About 5 minutes, maybe.
5 minutes, okay.
Maybe 4 to 5 minutes.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Do you do any worship songs? Everyone in your car? Do you sing like any music?
Worship songs? No, not really. Although I do watch a lot of faith-based movies, which are actually they're my favorite kinds of movies. I subscribe to a streaming service called PureFlix.
Okay, PureFlix.
And PureFlix is all about faith-based movies. For example, one of my all-time favorite movies is a movie called God's Not Dead. It's a franchise. You know, they've had 5 of them now, and they're all great. But in reality, the first one is like just a great movie. And it's about a teacher. I don't want to go on too long about it, but it's about a college professor that claimed that he didn't believe in God. But and a student challenged him, and the student actually won at the end, and he got the professor Radisson to admit that he actually hated God. So like the student said, you can't hate God if you don't think he exists. And the reason he hated God is because his mother died because of cancer when he was young, and he blamed God for it. And then at the end of the movie, he gets run over by a car. And as he's dying, there's a couple of priests that are there helping him out. And one of them tells the guy, hey, listen, I think you could have died right away, but I think God let you live so that you can repent. And before he dies, the guy getting choked up a little bit thinking about it because it's such a powerful scene. The guy says, yeah, I believe in Jesus. Wow. That's how he dies.
Wow.
Yeah, very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and, you know, there's other great movies like Facing the Giants, Play the Flute, you name it. They're some of the best movies. The Girl That Believes in Miracles. They're great to watch. You know, it's all about God. It's all about Jesus. You know, there's no foul language, no sex, and it's really kind of like what I like. As far as music goes, I listen to a lot of Christmas music. Okay. You know, for example, the two greatest songs ever are Frank Sinatra's "My Way" and then "Silent Night."
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's good, Gaston. And then you serve at the church, and you are very active at your church, local church. Right?
I'm capable of doing anything. You know, I'm trained to be a Eucharistic minister. I'm trained to be a lector. I'm even trained to be an altar server. But you know, the church has a policy where whatever mass you're at, you can only do one thing. You can't do more than one thing. So right now, I'm the head usher at. I go to the Saturday. They call the vigil mass at 5 o'clock, and I'm the head usher there. If they ever needed something urgently, in that case they'll let you. If they have nobody else to say read, then I can read at that point. Okay. And I kind of miss reading, honestly, but it's just at that specific mass they have a shortage of ushers, so it was decided best that they needed me as the head usher.
So that's good, Gaston. That's very good that you have that intimate relationship with Christ, and that you serve in a weekly basis. That's what gets us closer. And and when we serve, I think that's one of the best ways that we can really show the love of Christ to others. Now let's move on to family. You see, it's very important for you, your family. I hear you talk about your son and your daughter, and I know sometimes they get under your skin because you told me that.
Yeah.
But every kid does. Who doesn't, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but tell me about the values that you have that you have for your family, and about the mistakes that you probably made, because you're 65 years old, and you just turned 65. So it'll be good for people out there to hear, genuine mistakes that you probably made in your past that you probably would done differently, and things that you did right that you say to yourself, I would not change that, but I would change this, because it will give us, a younger generation a good perspective of, let's say they're going through that right now, and maybe they feel like you speak to them in a way where, oh wow, Gaston spoke to me, because that's exactly what I'm going through right now. So can you identify some of the areas where you feel like you did good, and the areas that you feel like you could have done better?
Well, before I say anything, I just want to say, in life, you only learn from making mistakes. Okay, so let's just get that out there. I tell people all the time, in life, unfortunately, that's just the way life is, and you only learn from your mistakes. You never learn from doing something correctly.
But can you learn from somebody else's mistake? Like, do you necessarily need to go through that?
It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be me. And it's funny that you say that, because, for example, my father was not. He was not a very nice person, and I barely had any relationship with him, and I really had a lot of animosity towards him for most of my life. It wasn't until about 2 years ago that I forgave him.
Wow.
Watching a faith-based movie called The Forge.
Wow.
And in this movie, there was a young guy that sort of had the same kind of relationship with his father that I had with my father. And he was talking to his mentor in the movie, and his mentor got him to understand things better. And he forgave his father. And I was looking at it, and I go, well, I mean, here's a kid was only like 17, 18. I said, man, if he can do it, why can't I? That's crazy. So I forgave him, and so.
How did that feel? How did that feel? Walk me through that, because
it felt. I must say that it just felt so. It felt so good. It really did. It really did. It felt fantastic.
How was that process?
Being able to, listen. One of the things I've learned. Like I said, it was in the movie. This is a young kid, and I just remember, wait a minute. If he can do it, why can't I? Yeah, my father, he was not a nice person. Some would even say he was very, very mean and whatever, but nobody's perfect. And he did, through him, he brought me into this world, and I'm here. So I don't like to be, I'm not a person that likes to hold grudges and things like that. In life, I think that one of the best things you can be is you can forgiving, be magnanimous, which I try to do. Like when I play basketball, I try to be magnanimous. I'll let people play for me, or if it's a call that can go either way, I'll let them have the call, because I've lived life and I know how life works. And being magnanimous is, if you can be magnanimous in your life, I think you'll live a much better life. To be quite honest with you. But so when one of the things that I saw the mistakes that my dad did, and one of the things is when I had my kids, I said I wanted to be the best father. I didn't just want to be a good father. I wanted to be a wonderful father. And only they can answer to that. But I know that from my standpoint, I've always been there for them, and I've always whatever they needed from me, they've always gotten it, whether it was finances or driving them somewhere or advice. I love to give my kids advice. And when I was younger, this is kind of a funny story. When they were younger, they would ask me a question, and I could have just said yes or no. They were like those kinds of questions, but I would never just go yes or no, true or false. I would always expound on that and tell them why it's true or why it's false. Mm-hmm. And I forget which one of them one day said, "Dad, it was only a yes or no question." I was like, okay. It just said, I really want my kids to be just smart and good kids. I want society, when they look at my kids, they go, "Hey, man, that kid, Anthony, like Emily, man, those are wonderful kids." So it was important. I learned from my dad all the mistakes that he made, and I wanted to be the total opposite.
So you can learn from mistakes, from other people's mistakes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be your own mistakes. I mean, obviously, I've made. I don't know very, very, very many people who have made as many mistakes as I have made in my life. So just the fact that I'm here, living the kind of life that I'm living, goes to show you how gracious God is that He's allowed me to redeem myself. Because when I was younger, I was not the kind of person that you know for sure. I wasn't a bad person, but I made a lot of mistakes, and inadvertently I hurt a lot of people by some of the actions that I took. And so, like I said, once I was in my late 30s, things started to change. And my life, the closer I've gotten to God in my life, the better my life has been. And that's why especially young people, I give them advice. And I tell them any number of things, but the first thing that I always say, look, if you can, before anything else, if you can get God in your life, that's going to go a long ways into making your life better. And then I go into other things, like working hard, honesty, and things like that. But to me, if you want to have a good life, I think having God in your life is very important.
Amen. Let's go back to, is there a mistake that you can probably talk about and be honest about that you made, so that somebody out there who's watching, that they may be going through the same thing, could learn from? It will be a good thing for you to share if you feel comfortable with.
Well, it might not be easy to talk about it. I don't know. I really haven't talked about it, but I know I've been divorced now for about 13 years, and I must admit that I love being married. I love coming home to my family. So when I got divorced, it really hurt me. But in retrospect, I could understand why she wanted to get the divorce, because I didn't devote the time, especially to her, that I needed to, and I was I guess I was thinking too much of myself at the time and not enough of her, and that's what broke us up. So to me, that's the biggest mistake and my biggest regret in my life. It was that right there.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I've learned a lot over the last 13 years, and if I were to get married today, it would be a totally different story, because I know now how she should have been treated and how I could have treated her. But as you know, in life, you can't go back. You can never affect the past. But you can only work to make yourself better and affect your future. So I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I see my ex-wife every Saturday at church. I see her sometimes more than that, because I live close to her. So my kids, when they come back and forth, she'll drop off my daughter and my place and stuff like that, and you have a good relationship. And again, I grew up in a divorced family. My ex-wife, she was an only child, so she had no idea how negatively divorce can impact the kids. So from about the first year was kind of rough in the divorce, but after that, I just made the decision that I was gonna kind of go with the flow, and I pretty much whatever she wanted, I would do, because I didn't want her to be upset or anything, and I just was thinking of my kids. So that was kind of like the beginning. Like I said, life is a journey, and especially for me, I wasn't easy growing up, and with my parents. They got divorced when I was about 12. They had nasty fights. They hated each other. So it wasn't easy growing up in my family. And so my life has been a journey, and it is what it is. I'm not complaining about it, but it wasn't easy growing up for me. And I just thank God that He's allowed me to redeem myself for all the things that I've done that I wish I hadn't done.
Have you ever been able to talk heart to heart with your ex-wife and admit your mistakes and be able to just reconcile that?
I not at length. And actually very little, honestly. But it's a conversation that if we ever came across, I wouldn't mind telling her that for sure. I definitely, definitely the divorce would have never happened if I had done the things that I needed to do.
Well, Gaston, first of all, I want to thank you for being so honest and open about that. I know it's not hard to admit things that we've, especially, in public to things that we've messed up on in our lives. But if anybody's hearing out there and they have a situation similar to yours where there might be some fighting in the marriage because they're not spending enough time, hearing you say this might help them come to a...
Yeah, if I can give one quick bit of advice to anybody that in that situation, especially a man, is kind of like be understanding of her and do whatever it takes to love her. She's that's important, and don't think so much about yourself. You'll feel much better about it, actually, if you give yourself to others. I wish I would have given myself to my ex-wife more, so that we could still be together.
That's deep.
And if you can do that, trust me, you might not be able to do everything you want in your life, but just that little change, just that a closeness to her is going to make your life so much better. And I only say that because of experience. I as you've said, I'm 65. I just turned 65 in June, so I've lived life. I've seen a lot in life. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. I've seen the mistakes people make. So when I tell you something, is because I've been through it. And when I tell you something, I tell you in a way where I feel like I can help you. I'm not doing it for a lot of people give advice, but they're trying to make themselves look sound important or whatever, and I don't like to do that. So when I talk to people, I try to understand where they're coming from so that I can give them advice that's going to help them in their lives.
Gaston, I don't want the moment that you said it to be missed, but I think the best piece of advice that you just gave right now was give yourselves to your wives, which is biblical because the Bible says, love your wife as Christ loved the church.
Yep.
And how much did Christ love the church? He died for it.
Yep.
So we have to die to ourselves and give ourselves to our wives. When we do that, everything changes.
Yes.
We actually get more.
For the better.
Of course, for the better.
And I know it's hard for people to understand that because generally people are happy about the things that they do. And it's not the easiest concept to understand is that you're going to be very happy if you give yourself to others. You're talking about your family, your wife, your kids. You give yourself up for them so they can live a wonderful life, a faithful life. And it's one of the things I always tell my kids, if you're not happy, I can't be happy. I could have $1 billion, I could have everything in the world, but if you're not happy, I can't be happy. And I mean that sincerely.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, that's really good, Gaston. Let's move on to finances. Now, we have different tiers in the pillar of finances. It doesn't mean that you had to have had a big wealth. It just means have you been a good steward of what God has entrusted you with, whether it was a little or whether it was that a lot. Talk about did you make mistake with finances in the past? How were you able to overcome them, or did you learn how to manage your finances from an early age? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, definitely I about it almost 2 years ago now, I had worked for a company called Bacardi for 13 years, and they, the business started going down. So I was one of the first people that they laid off. Not right away, but they told me in November of 2023, and then I worked through the middle of January. They gave me what I consider a decent severance package and all this other money through sick days that I hadn't taken and things like that. And I tried I double dipped for some time because I ended up getting another job while I was still getting paid by Bacardi. So I was able to double dip for a few months. And, the job that I'm still with, it's, just salary-wise, I make about 25% less. Even though I like working there and everything, it's a challenge financially because I'm making not only 25% less in salary, but when I worked at Bacardi, they didn't deduct out of my paycheck for my health insurance. Where here they do, so that's an additional amount of money that I don't see.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been financially a challenge, but you learn when you're in that situation. You really do learn to live within your means, and you're not very extravagant, and that's okay, because I learned something. If I didn't know about it then, I learned something having to deal with all this, and that is, if you learn to appreciate everything that you have in your life, you're going to be a happier person. And I appreciate everything I have in my life. I really appreciate my kids in my life. I don't own a home. I rent, so I could say, "Oh man, I wish I could own," and that would be nice. I don't deny that, but I rent, and I have a car that gets me to work and back, and go to the groceries and stuff like that. I have enough money to buy groceries. I have enough money to make my payments every month. I'm not able to save necessarily, but I'm able to survive. I'm able to survive. And, years ago, I used to stress out over these things. And then, like I said, and just within the last few years, having to deal with these challenges, I realized, what's there to stress about? I'm able to do everything necessary in my life. I know my sister, for example, she's a beautiful house in Coral Gables. They got 2 kids that one goes to Florida State, one goes to Florida, and so forth. And the thing is, it's okay. I'm happy for them. And it doesn't affect me in any way. I'm grateful for what I have, and I'm not concerned about what she has. I'm happy for her. And my younger brother, he's got a nice situation too. Unfortunately, he himself and his wife had to deal with some tragedy at the end of last year when my nephew, my godson, he passed away.
Oh, wow.
Only at the age of 32. His heart gave out. He had been overweight for quite some time. But other than that tragedy, they were doing very well. Good job, nice house. They could travel every so often. They had a weekend house and a place 3 hours north of here called Avon Park. So, I never once did I look at any of that and go, man, I wish I could have that. I reject that type of thought, that type of thinking anyway. If I want more, it's on me. I can try to get a better job, and things like that. So, whatever I have, I created it. I own it. And you know what? It's fine. Trust me when I tell you that I'm grateful for everything that I have in my life.
That's good. That's good, Gaston.
And I live much better, by the way. I live much better that way. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I always tell people, learn. I have a friend of mine in Pennsylvania. We talk a lot, and I told him, I said, Bill, if you can learn to appreciate everything you have in your life, you're going to live a much better life.
Yeah. Gaston, let's move on to the fitness side of your life. Tell me, have you always had that fitness mindset that you always wanted to, or did you pick that up along the way? Like, tell me about that.
What triggered for me to be so into my fitness and stuff like that was when I had my kids, I started late.
Okay.
So my son, when he was born, I was 44 and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. And when my daughter was born, I was 46 and a half. And I was like, man, I want to see my kids grow up. And also, I want to be there for them. My son, especially, he was into sports. So I want to go out and throw the ball with him, play with him, and stuff like that. And you know, let's face it, I'm not 20. You know, and back in the old days when you had kids, you were like 20, 21, 22. And, you know, you could do all of those things, you know, like I said. But since I started a lot later, I had to kind of do things differently. And that's what triggered it. And then in 1994, that triggered it. But I guess even before that, in 1994, which is the last time I was sick, I had the chicken pox in 1994. And I had been going to a chiropractor. Excuse me. And then I kept going to the chiropractor. And then I noticed that a few years went by, and I hadn't gotten sick. And I told my chiropractor about it. I said, hey, thank you. You're doing a great job. I never get sick. And I remember him telling me, well, that's not necessarily good because, you know, every day your body's taking in toxins, and it's good to be sick every so often so you get rid of those toxins. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, that's okay. You know, if I get sick, I'd get sick. But I'm going in almost 31 years, and I haven't gotten sick.
That's crazy, bro.
So, yeah, it is crazy. And the thing is, when I get up in the mornings, I just told you, I don't drink coffee. When I get up in the mornings, I feel fantastic. I'm ready to go. Whether I sleep 4 hours, which I generally sleep about 4 hours, or 5 or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. So I go to a chiropractor every 2 weeks. I play basketball 4 times a week. I swim probably in the evenings, probably anywhere from 3 or 4 times a week. You know, I don't. It's an outside pool, so if it's like lightning and thundering, I'm not going to do it. As you know, I ride my bike to the gym and back, so I ride bikes every day. And then I think something that I started doing 5 years ago, when the pandemic started, and I got a video one day sitting home from Dr. Gundry, is I take about a handful of supplements every day from Dr. Gundry that help. They help me with gut health, healthy aging. Energy, heart health, and I couldn't see living my life without that, without taking these supplements. They really help out, and I really encourage people to take some type of supplement that works. Not all supplements out in the market are actually good for you, but if you find the right one, good supplements really can be great for your health. Believe you me.
Nice. Wow, brother. You haven't gotten sick in 31 years. That's crazy. This year, I gotten sick twice. But yeah, that's pretty good, Gaston.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you do it.
I don't know. I just do what I do. You know, I always say,
You do
it's
what
a man
you do.
upstairs. He's looking out for me.
Yeah. So okay. Now, how did you pick up basketball?
You know, I've been playing basketball since I was like 13 years old.
Okay.
So it's been over 52 years playing basketball.
Okay.
And it's just, you know, look, it's not my favorite sport necessarily. I always tell people that if you could live your life over again, what I would have wanted to do is I would have wanted to be an NFL quarterback. To me, that's the greatest position in all of sports.
Nice.
Is being an NFL quarterback. I love everything about it. I love the leadership aspect of it. I love the fact that you're in the huddle. You got 10 guys looking at you in the eyes, and they need you to call the right play, and they're depending on you to make to deliver, have a successful play.
Yeah.
And then you have to go up to the line of scrimmage, and you got hundreds of thousands of people screaming off the top of their lungs to try to prevent you from succeeding in the play. And that's just it's just an amazing feeling. It just is an amazing feeling. But it's not easy to play football. Let's face it. So, and even I like baseball too. I used to, and it's hard to play baseball. How do you do that? How do you play baseball? So the easiest sport to play is basketball, and I always liked basketball. So that's really how it happened. It's just the easiest one of all. So in order, my favorite sport is football, and after that is basketball. So since you can't play football, I just started with basketball, and then I've like my life is I've always worked to work hard, which is one of the things that I truly believe you have to have in life is a strong work ethic, and you have to work hard in life. And I don't just play to play. I'm always trying to be the best that I can be. You know, in sports, you have players who want to be in the Hall of Fame one day, and then you have players that are just okay if they're like the second stringer or whatever. Not everybody wants to be in the Hall of Fame. And for whatever reason, my attitude is I want to be one of those Hall of Fame players. Somebody said to me, not to be so long, but I heard one time somebody on the radio said years ago, they said, look, in life, 5% of the population make the other 95% go. If you don't know what that means is it's that 5% that are the hardworking innovators. You never have to worry about them. And they're the ones who make the other 95% go, because unfortunately the other 95%, they get up, you know, they could be slackers. I'm calling sick today. So I said, no, I want to be in that 5%. I think is that I respect God. I want to get, every day, every second that I'm breathing, I want to get the most out of my ability, the most out of whatever talent. I want to get the most out of me. And honestly, I wasn't always that way. So I've been in the 95%. And you live much better at being in the 5%.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's pretty good. And well, in basketball, for those of you who don't know, Gaston is a pretty good player. I would say he's very crafty. I call him Houdini because he has a way of disappearing on you. If you're covering him, he's always looking at you. And as soon as you turn your eyes, he's gone. And he's scoring. Next thing you know, the guy is scoring on you. So, brother, for that, I commend you because that takes
Thank you.
a lot of thought process. You need to be crafty about, you know, if you don't have speed, then you have to change your game.
Yeah.
And I think you've done that. Everybody loves playing with you because they can get something out of you. So, yeah, that's very good. All right, so let's move on to focus. Focus, Gaston, is something that right now in this society we've lost because most people they're drifters. They're just on autopilot. They're just living life and they're just drifting on a river going down and life is just passing them by. Let me ask you something. Do you consider yourself that you're drifting, or do you consider yourself that you are focused in your everyday life, that you are proactive, that you are intentional about things that you do? Because the way I see you, for the little bit of time that I see you in a regular basis, you are at the gym at 5 a.m. You are always hitting the mark on going to play basketball. So you happen to life. Life is not happening to you. You seem like you are proactive. So talk to me about that focus. When was that a shift in your life where did you ever feel like you were drifting?
No question.
And then you came back. Tell me about that.
No question about it. And actually, that's I guess that's a good way to put it. I was drifting in my late 30s when I decided that I wanted to find a way to make my life better, and that's how I turned to God. And little by little, I've incorporated God more and more. I've become closer to Him, because you can be close to Him, but I don't know what the best way to explain it. I'm closer to God now than I've ever been. So I've always loved Him, and I've always believed in Him. I've prayed here and there, but now I pray on a regular basis. I think about Him all the time. So I'm a lot closer to Him now, and because of that, I feel like I'm a lot happier for it. Now, I don't know if I told you this, but I don't know if it was a tragedy with my nephew at the end of last year. He passed away in December. But on January 1st of this year, I had on New Year's Eve, I went out with my sister, her husband, my daughter, and my niece, we went out and we were hanging out in downtown. And on New Year's Day, woke up. I don't remember if you played at the J on January 1st, but we played basketball. And I came back and I was all by myself. And I could have said, "Gee, well, that's terrible. Everybody's with family. I'm here at home by myself." And I said, "I'm not going to get down on it. I'm just gonna relax, and I'm just gonna kind of think about things." And one of the things that I thought about is, I wanted to change my life. I wanted to change my life. I wanted to be, even though I had made over the last few years, every year had made improvement into my life. I wanted to actually make it kind of double the improvement. And at first, one of the things that I did was riding my bike early in the morning, as opposed to when I got home from work. So I was getting up early, but only riding my bike. And then you said to me, "Why don't you go to the gym?" And I thought about it. I didn't do anything at first, but you kept telling me about it. And finally, February 10th, I remember it was the first day that I started doing both the bike and the gym. And then it took me a few days, and I really started to see the benefits. So I said, wow, if I see the benefits or something, I'm not going to stop. And that's why I haven't stopped. You and I go to the gym every morning at 5. I have my routine. I like doing the massage chair. I stretch out. I have my own now set workout that Matt showed me how to do. And the bike thing, I bike there and back. And then little by little, I would listen. I'm always listening. I'm a good listener. That's one thing that's really improved in my life, is becoming a good listener. One of my managers at work, he heard of someone named Wim Hof, and this guy, he's just like me. He hasn't gotten sick in over 30 years, and He has like this thing where he takes cold showers. He does these breathing exercises. So he kept telling me about this. I said, I'm going to try the cold shower thing, and I think I started doing that in March. And now every shower that I take, it's a cold shower, and it really helps me. It really helps out. So that's why I do it, because it's not easy taking a cold shower. Believe in me, it's not easy. But I do it because I definitely see the benefits, and I want to be the best that I can be. And one of the things is, like a lot of people come up to me and go, "Man, I wish I could play like you when I'm 65." And when people tell me that, it means a lot to me, and I don't want to let people down. So it's kind of, I have to do this because I don't want to let people down. I want to be able, if I can inspire people, I can't think of anything better to inspire people in a positive way. Yeah. I think that's a great thing in life. So it kind of goes both ways. I inspire them, but they help me out because they make me.
They push you.
They push me. Yeah. There's no question. If you hadn't pushed me to go to the gym, I don't think I ever would have done it, because I told you I'm really not a gym person by nature. I don't love it, but I've changed. I look forward to going there. I look forward to doing these things. I don't know that I love it necessarily, but I look forward to it, and I know the benefits, and I'm not stopping. I can tell you that I'm not stopping doing that because it's great.
Yeah, no, yes, I definitely love working out and seeing you there every morning, seeing that you're lifting heavy weights. And I think that the reason why I told you, I feel like I remember one of those conversations was that, like, Gaston, you have to build muscle, because as you age, as we all age, we start losing muscle.
Absolutely.
So you have to, the way that you combat that is by building muscle, making your muscles work, your bicep, your tricep, your legs, your back, your chest, everything. You make it work, and then you start building, and you start feeling stronger, and you start building that extra layer of muscle that is going to help you out in the court.
And believe me, I see it, I feel it.
Yeah,
it's been a life. This year has been a life changer for me. And another thing that I wanted to do was, we were talking about drifting in life, is because I'm a single dad and I basically do everything myself. There were times where something came up and it was like, oh, I'll clean that later, or I'll do that later. And I said to myself, no, now if I see something that needs to be cleaned or whatever, I'm going to do it right then and there. And I would say that I've been able to do that 9 out of 10 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what that's called? The ProActivator. This is what we do. The movement. Okay. First of all, the ProActivator builds state-of-the-art leaders. And we move people from procrastinators to ProActivators.
There you go. Yeah.
So you are becoming a ProActivator,
Yeah.
because you don't no longer procrastinate on those little things. No, you are proactive about doing that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah.
So that's really good, Gaston. You're a ProActivator, brother.
Yeah, yeah. And as you know, the kind of not to get ahead of yourself, but it kind of it's a segue to something that especially recently you and I have talked a lot about is, as you know, you and I have talked about it. That comfort is the enemy of progress, and it really is. If you think about it, it really is. Most people have their comfort zone, and boy, it's just so hard for them to get out of it. But it really is the enemy of progress. So that's something that I consciously I'm aware of, and I never want to be in a situation where I'm too comfortable that I don't want to change and become better.
Well, but that's what we're
And
talking about right now.
And habits.
Whoa.
We've talked about habits.
Right. But we're talking about focus right now.
Yeah.
And that goes the same way you're saying, because comfort is drifting. It's easier to drift, to be taken by, to do the things that are easy, to turn on the TV and watch Netflix, to go on social media and spend time scrolling, TikTok, YouTube, all sorts of distractions that we have right now.
Yeah.
And we procrastinate in the things that are important because they're hard to do.
Yeah.
We we'll do it later.
Yeah.
But you've taken action in your life to not do those things and
Not
just
fall into that
not
trap.
fall into that. Yeah. So that's really good, Gaston. Now, I gotta tell you, you and Liam inspire me to start taking cold showers.
Oh yeah. So you've been
Liam,
doing
because
it.
Liam does.
Oh, he
I've been
does?
doing it. Yes.
Wow.
Liam, I've been doing it for like a couple of months now. But at the beginning of the summer, you have mentioned to me, okay, and I used to do it before. That's why it was easy for me to kind of implement it again.
Okay.
But then Liam, to my surprise, he said, "Oh yeah, I take cold showers."
Wow.
What? Yeah, all right. And so, but the thing is, I look for, and the reason why I do it, Gaston, is probably not even, I know it's, health benefits and all that. I do it because the ProActivator is a person who needs to combat comfort.
Yeah.
So I do it just because it's uncomfortable. And I have to put myself in situations that are uncomfortable so that I can grow more.
Yeah.
I go to the gym.
It creates a mindset where you
Yes.
have to do more.
Yes. I go to the gym early in the morning. But you know what? Waking up at 4:30 in the morning, reading, because I implemented that now,
Yeah.
reading, and just doing all these things. Like, honestly, they're not uncomfortable for me anymore. So I have to constantly look for things that are going to make me feel uncomfortable. Taking a shower, as soon as the cold water hits my skin, it's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
There's a still little bit of discomfort there,
Sure. Yeah.
but I feel like eventually that's not even going to be there anymore. Because once you adapt to something, it's time to grow.
Yeah.
It's time to go to the next level.
Yeah.
So, and then, okay, I'll tell you one thing, and that is not even something that is making me feel uncomfortable anymore. But I had my first seminar last Friday. It was right here in this place, and there was about 25 people. And I did 2 sessions, one on mindset shift, and the other one on the habit loop, because I'm reading this book, and I thought about it. It was an hour each, and I felt very comfortable in front of the people. So not that it's fine, because I've been dealing with things uncomfortable. When I go to CrossFit, I don't know, do you know about CrossFit?
Yeah, because I've listened to you tell me about it.
Yeah, CrossFit is this very rigorous
Yeah.
exercise routine that you do. It's like it's tough.
The things that you told me, I'm like, wow, man, that's impressive.
It's tough, you know. So, but I do it because it's uncomfortable. So I believe that the more we put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, the more we grow.
Yeah, the more you push yourself,
Yes.
believe me, the more you grow.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Yeah. So
You need to get rid of that comfort zone.
yes. So and you've been doing that and more, I see. But the key is to continue looking for things to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, like you were saying, sometimes I feel nervous when I'm going to speak. You know, you do it and do it more often. So if you're in a group and you want to speak up and say something, but you don't want to because it's going to feel like weird, or you do it. You push yourself to, you know what, let me ask the question. Let me put myself out there. The more we put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, the more we grow. The more we avoid uncomfortable situations, and the more we drift.
Yeah, you're going to stagnate, no question,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna be the best that you can be if you do that.
Yeah. So let's move on to fulfillment. Fulfillment is when we give, knowing that we're not gonna get anything in return. Tell me about some practices that you do now, that you know that you give your time or your resources, that you give to the church, money or anything, and you know that you're not gonna get anything in return.
You know that I must say that there's this group that I donate to all the time because I really respect these people and what they're going through, so that they, whenever I see an article or a text and they say, hey, you know, we need financial assistance, and believe you me, I don't make a lot of money. I go, you know what, that's fine, because these people need my help, and life is not about me. There's a lot of people in life, and these people need my help. I'm going to do whatever I can, and I'm going to help them out. The one that I that I like to talk about, and I do this for several things, and the thing is, I'm perfectly happy to do it. I'm never going to get money from these people that I donate to. I don't want to get. I don't need it. Just knowing that I can help them makes me feel so good. It's just I can't tell you how good it makes me feel. But as you know, you probably, when you were younger, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I know in my case it's certainly true, is, you know, come Christmas time, I love to receive gifts. And then as you grow up, you hear people say, oh, I love to give more than receive, and you think about it and you're like, I don't know about that, you know, because I do like to receive. And I would say for most of my life, I actually like receiving more than I like giving. And then, like in the last 5, 7, 8 years, I've totally changed. Giving, seeing somebody else be so happy, getting something, I can't describe it to you, what a great feeling that is. And I don't really need, that's the thing, I don't really need, if people want to give me a Christmas gift, that's fine. They want to give me a birthday gift, that's fine. I really don't need it. I just, now when it's my birthday, I always joke around with people, what do I need to celebrate? It's just 1 year closer to leaving planet Earth. I do it in a funny way. What means to celebrate my birthday, to celebrate any occasion now, for me, the best thing about it is not to get anything. It's just to be able to be with people that I love, that I don't get to see all the time. And I think that comes with, that's life. You know, life, you live and you learn. And you learn to appreciate the things that you have. And I know I'm not going to be around forever, so I want to make sure that before I leave that I'm able to hug my kids as much as I can, to spend time with my family as much as I can. And then the gifts thing, I don't even think about it, honestly. But I love, come Christmas time, I really enjoy giving to others. And I don't need to get anything in return. And just seeing their faces, seeing how happy they are, I can't describe it to you what a wonderful feeling that is.
That's good, Gaston. Yeah, definitely giving is much better. When you were talking about, talking about your wife and man, when you give yourself, it's going to return way more than if we just think about ourselves and what we want to get out of life. But when we give ourselves to our wives, we think that, we're going to lose. But instead, we gain so much more.
Yeah.
In the long run, we gain so much more.
Totally agree with that.
All right, Gaston, before we close out, is there anything that you want to share, anything that stood out from you from the podcast, from our conversation that you want to emphasize on or highlight?
Honestly, Gabe, I'm sure because we talk a lot when I go to the gym, when we talk, you have to be careful with me because I can go on for a long time because I have a lot to say. I've been through life. I have a lot of experience in life. And I love to help people out. So when people ask me things, I like to let them know as much as possible because I want people to be happy and successful. Like I said, it's not about me. If I can make you a happy person, more successful, your kids, my kids, it's the best thing in the world. And helping others is really a truly amazing thing. And if anybody watches this podcast, if it's just one person, if I can help them be more successful, be happier, help them out in some way, if I did that it's all worthwhile. That's one of the things that I live for. I don't. Sure, I do. We all do things that we like because that's life. But by the same token, I just as I've gotten older, I've really come to really enjoy helping other people out. So if I this podcast, if I've helped anybody in this podcast, then that's all worth it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Gaston. It was great talking to you and spending some time with you in the ProActivators podcast. Everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
All right, brother. See you, man.